Hey everyone, my name is Dunby, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time visiting, welcome, we're happy to have you. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to support my channel, I would really appreciate it. So in today's episode, it's pretty much going to be what I mentioned would take place in the last episode. This episode is going to be about tips and tricks, things I've learned to help me throughout the game, and I've also decided to add mod requests. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first tip I want to touch upon is the tool placement. For me, the placement means a lot when I'm going out for foraging, especially in the mines, whether it's the Calico Desert or the regular mines, and even the Quarry Mine and Ginger Island Mine. So for example, this is my lineup for the Calico Desert Mine. I have the pickaxe first, weapon is second, staircase is third in case I need like an easy escape route. Fourth is coffee, so if you have to run away from a monster to like either consume food or just to run away from them period, then the speed is going to be necessary. After coffee, food to replenish your stamina and your energy. Next is the regular bomb, then the mega bomb, and then the cherry bomb. The regular bomb is to use pretty much at like free will. The mega bomb I put second is so in case you really need to clear up a large area where there's like a bountiful amount of rocks, then definitely use that. And the cherry bomb is just backup in case you run out of bombs and mega bombs, and if you don't have any of like the ores or necessary materials to make more of those bombs. After the cherry bomb is the warp totem for home. So if you want to stay longer in the mines, like till like 1 in the morning, for example, before you pass out at 2 a.m., you can just warp home and then go straight to bed. For the regular mines and the Ginger Island mines, I figured out that it was best to have the pickaxe first, then the weapon, coffee for speed, food, and then the watering can, in that exact order. So that way you'll be more equipped, and especially make sure you fill up your watering can before you even go into like the next level of the Ginger Island mines, because you may need those to cross lava just to get to the escape route or just to get like chests or like different ores and stuff like that. Tip number 2, save everything you find in the mines. You never really know when you'll need it. For example, the earth crystals. You will see them all over the mines in like the first 25 levels. But when you actually need them, it feels like they're nowhere to be found. And then it becomes aggravating because you're just like, wow, I really should have just like grabbed it when I saw it. Tip number 3. Same thing with the earth crystals. For example, save the quartz. You can put those into the furnace to make refined quartz, which you will need to make the quality sprinklers, and you may even need refined quartz for other tasks or craft or whatever, especially if you get like the mods like Downtown Zuzu or Ridgeside Village expanded or East Scarp, because they may have like other things that require the refined quartz, so it's good to just like have that on hand. Tip number 4, save all the jade you find for the staircases in the Calico Desert. So when you have Mr. Key's quest to go to 100 floors, you'll be ready. So you can either get 100 staircases, or you can get to like level 50 or 60 on your own, and then use the rest to get to level 100. Also, save ruby so you can go to the Calico Desert trading post and trade the rubies in for the spicy eel meal. That is great for speed and stamina. Also, it's the same thing with the crab cakes. Buy as many of the crab cakes you can get from Gus when he has them on sale after the cutscene with Willy. I think you get to like red hearts or yellow. I think it's either like yellow or red hearts with Willy. So if you plan to be friends with them, just definitely like gauge that and make sure you have enough money saved up to buy as many crab cakes as you can. They will definitely come in handy. Tip number 5. It kind of coincides with tip number 4 in regards to the jade. So if you are in the Skull Cavern And if you liked using mods, I definitely recommend the Skull Cavern elevator mod by Lestoph. And I actually will have the link to this mod and other mods in the description box below. And it works just like the elevator in the regular mines in Pelican Town. So if you have the elevator mods, you may not really need the staircases as much. So if anything, if you use the elevator mod, I'd probably recommend having at least 5 to 10 staircases with you on hand in case you need like that emergency exit, and you still want to continue further in the mines. Tip number 6, the largemouth bass. Albacore, lobster, squid. You will need certain fish for certain quests from the villagers. Like for example, you'll need a largemouth bass for Jody when she invites you over to dinner. I think Willie or Gus needs it also, but also the trash panda will need it too. He'll request that in the beginning of the 3rd year. And so when you see them from the traveling merchant, just go ahead and buy them. Like literally just go ahead and buy them because you will need them. And then so when those quests come up, all you have to do is just get them out your inventory, bring it, and you're done. And it makes it so much easier, especially since squid for me is the hardest to find. The lobster, you can pretty much get those, I think, from the crab pots. The albacore, I think, is kind of semi-hard to get. Largemouth bass, for me, in my first 3 files was difficult, but now in this file, I get them I think I have at least 5 or 6 of them saved by now. But if you're not really into fishing, and you don't really like the mechanic of fishing, then yeah, I would just definitely look for the traveling merchant cart. And also look at the trash cans, because I found plenty of fish in the trash cans. So there's that. Tip number 7. Aim for getting the coop in the 1st year by fall. Also, save all the clay you can because you will need those for the silo. Build a few silos. For example, I have 4 and I have 1 barn and 1 coop. And in this way you will never run out. And I found out in my 3rd file that you can use your scythe to cut the grass to get hay. I didn't know that in my first 2 files, but my 3rd file, I had ran into Marnie and she was like, yeah, you can use your scythe to cut the grass to get hay. And I was like, wow, that's great because I have plenty of grass on my farm and I don't feel like paying you an X amount of money every so often just to get enough hay, because I'd rather put that money towards other things. And if you have the expanded or other mods, there's grass practically all over the place. And I also tested it out and found out that the grass on your farm is not the only grass that produces hay. You can go to the guild or the far west of the forest and even Ridgeside village and cut their grass and still get hay. So you're covered irregardless. And this is great, especially if you're into decorating your farm and got rid of all the grass that's around there. And plus, Marnie will send 30 bushels in the mail, so again, you won't run out. Tip number 8. Grab all the copper, silver, and gold you can. Those are definitely great for when you have different quests, but for me mainly when I have to build the cherry bomb and the regular bomb and the mega bomb. And you also need those for sprinklers and other crafting quests as well. So yeah, you definitely need those 3-4 ores throughout the game. Tip number 9. Try to save all of your geodes and put them in your chest so you can do a bulk run instead of constantly having to go to the blacksmith just to get it. And plus also, it's cost 25 gold to get them cracked. I would wait on that, especially if you're in the early stage of the game when you're first entering the mines, because that can be costly and the money can go more so towards getting another backpack or seeds or just anything other than that. And then you can just do a bulk run and then do a bulk donation. Tip number 10. Prismatic shard. Save it to use for the Calico Desert, and then when you come across another one, then you can just donate. You can just give that to the museum. And the reason why I say use the first one for the Calico Desert is because when you stand in the center of the 3 pillars, you get the Galaxy Sword. Now, with this, I would definitely recommend, before thinking about fixing the bus to go to the Calico Desert, 1. Upgrade your pickaxe to gold, because when you're smashing the rocks in the Calico Desert, sometimes it's you have to hit it 3 or 4 times for it to break. But with the gold, Some rocks you have to hit like once or twice, and it makes it even easier to get down to certain levels faster, especially when you have like real time, like 15 minutes in a day. Make sure too, when you go through the mines, like the regular mine in Pelican Town, and as well as the quarry mine, make sure you're at between like a level 8 or higher in combat, so that way when you get the Galaxy Sword and then you go into the Calico Desert mine, well, the Skull Cavern mine, then it's easier and quicker to just like kill the monsters, because sometimes it's one swipe and you're done. Okay, tip number 11. Save all the coal, weeds, and wood to make scarecrows so you don't lose too many crops in the first year, because that is really annoying when you're trying to grow crops to get money and then the crows just come by and just have a buffet out of it. Tip number 12. Befriend Sam in the first year, because his second cutscene can only be seen in year 1, and his best gift is pizza. That pretty much makes it really, really easy. Step 13 coincides with this. Sophia and Morris, if you have expanded and also have certain cutscenes in the first year, like Sophia has a cutscene that you can only see in year 1, Morris has a cutscene you can see only in year 1, and for Morris, I think they said that with his second cutscene, you have to see that in order to unlock all the other cutscenes. And I had played the first year on my laptop vanilla, and then I had gotten expanded starting the beginning of the second year, so I wasn't really aware of the fact that they had special scenes to only see in the first year. However, if you missed those, that's okay, because you can go to Nexus Mods and get the Event Repeater mod by MissCoriel. Thank you so much for making this mod, because this really was a lifesaver. It's the Event Repeater mod, so if you miss an event, you can just like go ahead and just like watch it regardless of if it's like a special cutscene or if you had to see it within like a certain time frame. And it works perfectly, because I've seen about like maybe half of Morse's cutscenes thanks to this mod. And that's in the description box below as well. Tip number 14. This may sound strange, but overall, befriend everyone in the second year. Do some research on like the wiki or whatever, learn what they like during the first year of your gameplay, and collect those items, so that way in the second year you can gift it to them, and especially increase their points by giving to them on their birthday, so that way you can get a good eval from your grandfather. I found this to be effective since the first year. I really just mainly focused on trying to get everything grounded, trying to catch my footing and just like, you know, earn up money and just get like the ball rolling on the farm. And in the second year, I just used for socializing, and it took the extra stress off of trying to befriend everybody and trying to juggle everything at once. Tip number 15. The cell phone mod to call vanilla-based residents to locate them. I think expanded members as well, I think. But for the most part, it's like vanilla. And this was done by aedenthorn, and I apologize if I mispronounced the name. It's the mobile phone at Stardew Valley Nexus mod. And it's great. And you also get phone calls too. So with this mod, you can call them, talk with them. And I also found out too that if you talk with them on the phone, you can still talk with them in person. So you basically get like extra time to talk with them. Then you can have, there's a Where Are You mod where you find out exactly where they are. I mean the Where Are You option next, right after the chat option. Third option is the reminiscing, so you can redo certain events and basically get it, you know, correct the second time around, or third time depending on what the options were. Now you also get phone calls from certain villagers, like last night for example, I went to the tavern and I got a phone call from Pam, and she was talking about wanting to get some type of hobby or whatever, and then I asked her where she was, and she said, I'm here with you. Why are you calling me? And it's like, I did not call you, Pam. You called me. Same thing happened with Gus. He went on some type of like dialogue about red wine, dry red wine, how it's good for like a day like this. It was raining. And I asked him where he was, and he said, I'm here at the bar. Why are you calling me? And it's like, you called me. I didn't call you. But it's comical in its own way. So I would definitely recommend getting that one. Also, I found out that there is a Ridgeside Valley phone mod, so I'm going to be downloading that later on today, and using that, so it'd be a lot easier to locate certain villagers, especially people I haven't met. And that is also by Aedenthorn as well. So for the tips and tricks, that's it for right now. Next, we're going to move into the second half of the video, i.e. mod requests. So the mods are really awesome. I didn't realize how much I was missing out on, because I played the mobile for like my first 3 files and I couldn't get the mods on my phone. But after getting a laptop and then getting the mods, it's like, wow. Don't get me wrong, the vanilla, I love the vanilla overall. Like, that is definitely great if you can't get the mods, or if you just like have the mobile version or don't know how to install them yet, or don't have enough space on your computer. But the mods, they really do expand the game and just make it so much more enjoyable alongside the vanilla content. And I'm really, really glad I'm able to experience them now. So my first mod request is the Pirate Island mod. If someone could do this, I would really be happy and appreciative. So, in case you don't know, on Ginger Island, there is a pirate cove that is full of partying pirates on even numbered days from 8 p.m. till I think like 10 or midnight, except for rainy days. And I was wondering if it was possible to make a mod where, come to find out that when Leo washed ashore, his parents survived because they were actually rescued by pirates and now live on Pirate Island, where they also became pirates, and they go to the Pirate Cove when they have their gatherings at 8 p.m. And I would love it if it'd be possible for you to befriend them, and then after a certain level of hearts, you can reunite Leo with his parents. But along the way, they mention their former life, having a son, and so forth. And I think it would also be really cool to have it where Leo has a younger sibling to meet. That's just me. I would really love that. Okay, my next mod request is Dwarf Black Market. I don't know where it would work best, but it'd be really cool. Probably Ginger Island, you know? I think it'd be really cool if someone could make a mod where once or twice a month, the dwarves get together underground to sell their wares in a black market. And with, like, you know, some shadow people vendors as well. And I personally think that Sebastian, Kiara, Emily, Gunther, Marlon, and Gil, I think they would be like really good humans to see down there as far as like customers are concerned. You know, like incorporate some of the humans who know about like the dwarves and the shadow people. And I think that that bunch would actually be pretty decent. My next mod request is the Shadow Tavern, where Krobus gets together with other shadow people and they run like a bar-tavern place that can be accessed through the sewers from 6 p.m. onward, and the dwarves show up as well, including Sebastian, Kiara, Marlon, and Gil, and Gunther. And since Ridgeside Village has Kareem, I think that's what her name is, she works for Gus part-time, and I was thinking that on those days where she works for Gus part-time, Emily can instead work in the Shadow Tavern and then help out, because I think that honestly, like, if Emily worked down there with the shadow people, like on certain days where Corin was there helping Gus, I think that'd be like a really cool dynamic, because she's pretty much open to like everything and everyone. And I know she wouldn't go running her mouth about that. Next mod request is the porch-patio mod. Have Robin build like a porch or deck that can be decorated with furniture, where you can actually access it and just like make it nice, you know, because a lot of houses do have decks, and I think that'd be like really cool to add. This next mod is personal for me. It's the Expose Pierre mod, because I high-key do not appreciate how this clown lies about the stuff I sell him and takes credit for it, and I don't appreciate how certain villagers are like, oh, Pierre said he went and found this on the mountain. You don't find truffle oil on the mountain, okay? You don't find blueberries on the mountain. You don't find any of the stuff that I sell him on the mountain. You really don't. Unless it's like, you know, wildflowers or horseradish or leeks or whatever, but that's a different story. And I also don't like when you get taunted by like Jody and then other villagers. Oh, well, Pierre went and said he grew this in his garden. I guess you have competition, huh? In the vanilla version, he does not have a garden. So that right there should let them know he's a liar. In the expanded version, he does have a garden. But you can also see his garden in open daylight, so you pretty much know what he makes and what he doesn't make. And I would love to see it where he gets exposed and face a penalty of, I don't know, like maybe signing his shop over to Joja, or closed permanently because of his lies. So now he basically would have to work for Joja because he needs an income, and he is now owned by a corporate giant and works for Morris. I think he really deserves that. Next is a wedding mod, where you get married in a schoolhouse, or you can pick a location for the wedding, and also pick like the decorations as well, like a decoration package. And the decoration package, I think, could be, I don't know who could be sold by. Well, if anybody's able to do that mod, then I'd really appreciate that. I would say Jody, but it doesn't seem like that would really fit her theme. I think it'd be cool if the traveling merchant can do it, or if like the wives in the single woman got together and then created different packs and said like, hey, you know, we're planning your wedding and we wanted to see like, you know, what you think would be like a good theme, and you get to choose from like 3 or 4 themes, and you pick one, and then that's, you know, the theme for your wedding. Next is Guts's long lost love, where he tells you about a woman he loved, but she left because she didn't want to be the wife of like a tavern owner, so she got with somebody else. And this is just like a little thing just to add some depth to Gus and just to give him a little bit of a story, you know? Next, have Gil move. Like, literally have him do something other than just rocking in his chair. And also have him open his eyes. Because, I mean, at this point, he's just there. The next and final mod that I have as a request is the Guild Remembrance Day, where once a year, typically in the fall, you have Remembrance Day for the fallen guild members, and you honor them for protecting the valley. You can like light candles, or like, you know, like how with the Jellyfish Festival at the end of the summer, you send off like the light boats. I think it'd be really nice where you collect around the guild, and then instead of like sending like the water boats off, you actually send up like the lighted balloons, and they go up into the sky, and then you see them like, you know, amongst the stars and stuff like that, just to remember them. And that for right now actually completes this video. If I think of more tips or mod requests, then I'll be sure to place them in future videos. And thank you so much for watching. And if you found any of the tips or tricks useful, please let me know in the comments. And if you found the mod requests interesting, or if you know somebody who could do it, please also leave that in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video.